Welcome to a special edition of The End Zone along with Cameron Johnson. I am Colby Daniels. The Oklahoma City Thunder take Game 3 of the Western Conference Finals. 123-108 is the final score in San Antonio as this series shifts gears. 2 road games over the weekend. OKC loses Game 1. That wild, dramatic, double overtime thriller in which really when you look at that Wemby three-pointer at the end of the first overtime, I mean, if that doesn't go down, we're talking about potentially the Thunder being up 3-0. But a lot of people felt like San Antonio taking Game 1 completely shifted the momentum away from Oklahoma City in this series. The Thunder bounce back, get Game 2, go to San Antonio and win a road game in Game 3 decisively after facing adversity out of the gate tonight. And, I mean, if you were a Thunder fan, you got to be feeling really good about where OKC is in this series. Yeah,
adversity is one way to put it. I mean, as far as starts go, it doesn't get much worse than that. They go up, I think it was 10-0 at one point, and you're like, well, surely the Thunder are going to score in the next few minutes. It ends up being what?
15-0.
15-0?
15-0 start for San Antonio.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I feel that I've seen enough out of the Thunder where they have a bad start like that and still claw their way back, make it a competitive game. So I wasn't too worried, but at the same time, that's a concerning way to start a game, especially in enemy territory.
Well, I know that this postseason, there's kind of been this emphasis on Game 3s because they were so poor in Game 3s last postseason that they had a great performance at Phoenix, great performance at Los Angeles, and then you have the San Antonio team that is clearly a different animal than either of those first 2 opponents. And it's a 15-0 lead, and I'm thinking, here we go. This was Game 3 against Minnesota that they eventually lost by like 40-something. Mm-hmm. This is Game 3 against Indiana that they obviously didn't show up. Tonight, 15-0 start, and you're thinking, here we go. This is going to be one of those Game 3 avalanches that we saw a year ago. Enter Alex Caruso, who checks into the game at that point in time, and really, I thought, once again, brings the right amount of energy to lift the Thunder out of that funk because they looked pretty flat to start the game, and once Alex Caruso stepped on the floor, I mean, it flipped the switch, and the Thunder, I thought, really from that point on, controlled the basketball game.
He's a game changer on both ends of the floor. I mean, he comes in, makes that immediate impact, then all of a sudden later on in the game, he's down on the defensive end coming up with genius fouls, playoff fouls, and I mean, he just has been so fun to watch this series. It seems like every series so far there has been one player who continually stands out, and Alex Caruso has been that in these Western Conference Finals and hasn't wavered one bit, I don't think.
Yeah. I said after Game 2, I wish there was a way to quantify, what his overall contribution is, because when you look at a box score and you see Caruso, 15 points, 2 steals, 1 block, I mean, there are just so many plays that he makes that maybe don't end up with a stat next to his name that contribute to the Thunder getting an extra possession or frustrating, the other team. And it's wild, just the production that he has given in these last 3 games, what he has meant to the Thunder to win the 2 games in this series. But I mean, obviously Game 1, he was phenomenal. And the only Thunder player I thought that night, J-Dub had a good performance, but I mean, the only Thunder player that I felt matched San Antonio's physicality in Game 1. Speaking of physicality, that was obviously a big part of this Game 3, and it was a giant narrative nationally for the Thunder entering this game, especially on the heels of Isaiah Hartenstein and, the big lift that he gave them in that department in Game 2. A lot of focus, I think, on specifically how he manhandled Victor Wembanyama, but it was a physical game, and I said at the beginning of the series, I think the team that is going to be the more physical team in each game is going to win each game. There might be a crazy outlier where the less physical team wins, but I think you're going to be hard-pressed to see it go that way.
You mentioned the physicality of Hartenstein and Wemby in that last game. You saw in the pregame of this one, Wemby specifically had his trainers out there, trying to replicate what happened in that last game, and yet I think the Thunder defense as a whole still did a very good job of handling him tonight. And I mean, physical as it gets, I thought. It seems like it keeps taking it up a notch in each game, and in some ways it makes it more fun to watch, but as we saw tonight, it does start to take its toll, and it depends how you handle it.
The playoff experience to me was the difference in choosing the Thunder to beat the Spurs in this series versus, I think, the Spurs winning. I think the Spurs are a great matchup for this Thunder team. I think they're strong in all the areas that the Thunder generally take advantage of teams, so they don't have the same sort of advantages against this team. But playoff experience is one of those things that you can't measure And we've seen it over and over. We saw it with the Thunder when they were the #1 seed 2 years ago and lost to Dallas in the second round, right? As that series went on, you could tell that Dallas had been through this and that OKC hadn't. That's a big check mark for the Thunder. I thought it was the difference maker in this series going in. You're not going to see that in a game 1. Maybe you don't see it in game 2. As this series goes on, I think you're going to see it, and I thought you saw the makings of it tonight. I mean, this was a Thunder team that was down 15-0. They didn't flinch. They continued to fight, continued to play every possession like they just have to win that possession. And I thought as the game went on, the frustration started to show on the San Antonio Spurs faces. The fatigue in that game, I thought, started to show. And down the stretch, you felt like that was a very tired San Antonio Spurs team. We'll get to like game 4, but that is a giant highlight, I think, as this series goes on. And it's now been 2 games in a row where it feels like the Thunder's legs are much better in the second half.
It takes a lot to beat the Thunder this season. So the way San Antonio came out and had that game 1 performance where they walk away with the double overtime win, they did everything right in that game. They did just as good a job in the second game. And again, physical tonight, but the Thunder have slowly started to, like you said, the Spurs are showing the signs of fatigue, whereas the Thunder are showing that experience and just showing the endurance they have down this stretch. I
thought in game 1, specifically, SGA and Chet did not play through the physicality very well. I think the Thunder have played through physicality since game 1. And tonight, again, I know that sometimes like the national broadcast is going to show all the holding plays from the Thunder. It's happening on both sides of the ball. Stephon Castle has been holding SGA for 3 games straight now. Victor Wembanyama is definitely getting his share of physical plays, but the Thunder, I think, are wearing the physicality much better. They're playing through the physicality much better, and that's why I think you're seeing so much frustration on the San Antonio Spurs faces. Thunder won the physicality battle tonight again. The bench battle, this is probably the biggest surprise to me. I thought the Thunder had an edge on the bench over San Antonio, but I didn't think it would be as drastic as it's been in this series. OKC's bench outscores the San Antonio bench tonight 76-23, and a lot of that is obviously Jared McCain scoring 24, Jay Will with 18. Both of those are career playoff highs, and then Alex Caruso again with 15 points off the bench. But the OKC bench, I thought, was the better unit tonight. And I mean, they outscored the starters, by the way, 76-47 for what that's worth. But when you had Jay Will, Caruso, McCain, and then some version of SGA and a big, it was that was the lineup to go to.
I think in the grand scheme of things in this series, the bench plays just as well, and tonight even better than the starters, and that has been the story of what we've seen so far. Obviously, that's not to say maybe you should be starting all of these bench players, because I think they have an important role when they come off the bench. Alex Caruso, for instance, Jared McCain, those are guys who come in and it feels like the energy shifts, and you need it to be that way. But for just everything they bring, it is just a 1, 2, 3, 4 punch with this Oklahoma City team, and that statistic, though, is insane.
It's an incredible bounce back tonight despite the 15-0 hole that the Thunder dug early. Mark Daigneault, post-game press conference, discussing that early adversity. We'll get to Mark Daigneault at the podium in one moment. But, yeah, I mean, that's got to be the story, right? Again, the Thunder facing adversity. They've been through that situation so many times, and they're looking at this game, and I will say, hand up, like I was ready to be like, you know what, this might be one of those game 3 flops at 15-0, and I could not have been more wrong. Here is Mark Daigneault talking about that start.
You know, we just try to look at things through the lens of like our own strengths. We're not looking at anything relative to the opponent. You know, like the last thing you want to do is assume that an opponent has a weakness that they don't have. You know, and so we assume the opponent's always at their best, and we need to be at ours. And you know, depth is a part of that, but it's not relative to San Antonio. It just needs to be one of our strengths that we rely on, regardless of circumstance. And you know, we've done a great job of that so far in the series.
All right, there you go. There was Mark Daigneault. They've done a great job of that so far in the series, as he says. And again, this team is so battle-tested. You have to put your confidence into them no matter what situation they're facing.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the championship mentality, that you can go down in a situation like that and still be, you know, calm and collected and be like, okay, we've got time to figure this out. And credit to the bench. That's who got that run going for the Thunder to get them back into this game. I mean, Jay Will had back-to-back threes, and I'm sure we're going to get to his night because he was fantastic. But, yeah, I think there's a lot of traits in a championship team that are showing for the Thunder in this run.
All right, Thunder take a 2-1 lead over San Antonio with Game 4 coming up on Sunday night, along with Cameron Johnson. I am Colby Daniels. We'll take a timeout. We haven't even talked about SGA, the 2-time NBA Most Valuable Player, plus Jared McCain at the podium. That's all next here on a special edition of The End Zone. Thunder win Game 3 of the Western Conference Finals, 123-108. The final score, and now all eyes on Game 4 Sunday night, 7 p.m. tip-off, as the Thunder could potentially take a commanding 3-1 lead before they return to OKC. Game 5 being next Tuesday at the Paycom Center. We talked a lot about the bench earlier, Cameron. I mean, I think over the next 48 hours, Jalen Williams, Alex Caruso, and Jared McCain are going to get their flowers, at least in OKC. May never have to buy another drink as long as they live. What a performance from those guys. It's kind of crazy to think we're doing a Western Conference Finals post-game recap, and we haven't even had a conversation about the 2-time NBA Most Valuable Player, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who, along with Victor Wembanyama, had a game-high 26 points, 6 of 17 from the floor. But I thought the number that really stands out to me looking at the box score, it's the 12 assists, right? I mean, San Antonio, especially early in this game, did everything in their power to make the other guys beat them, to take Shai out of the game, coming off that 30-point performance in Game 2. And Shai made all the right plays. Now, sometimes players may miss the shots and Shai doesn't get an assist for those things, but he pushed all the right buttons early, and I think that's why you see the bench production that you see, because Shai read the game, put the ball where it needed to go, and credit to the bench players, they were able to capitalize. Yeah,
it's the all playoff run long. I mean, he's been a hot topic, the main focal point for most defenses, and I think him being able to figure out on nights where he may not have his highest scoring night, this was still a good one, to be able to, like you said, read the game, get the ball out to his teammates. I think that's just as important in a run like this, and I think this was probably his most consistent, efficient night, whatever it may be. I mean, Game 2 was pretty efficient as well, but to get everyone involved the way he did was huge.
Made great plays, and I feel like we're also seeing him, I think, handle the physicality and deal with it in a better way. Like, I not to say that he hasn't, but there have been moments, especially in the Lakers series with Marcus Smart having his hands all over him. Game 1 specifically with Stephon Castle kind of doing the same thing. I kind of feel like he's turned a corner in terms of now he's kind of used to that and he's playing through it better and doesn't show, I think, the frustration in terms of body language. And clearly, I mean, he's getting his, simultaneously getting everybody else involved. And, it's kind of a pick your poison. Do you let Shai go off?
Yeah.
Or do you make Shai pass to all these other guys and let everybody else kind of find their rhythm? It's I'm not sure there's a good way to go, but again, down 15, Shai didn't panic and made all the right plays. Let's go back to Mark Daigneault at the podium.
Yeah, it was a punch. Credit them; they were ready to play, and they got us early. Stops, transition, pressure. I just thought we showed great poise to understand the 48-minute nature of the game. It's a long game, obviously. Thought the bench right off the bat, Alex, Kaysen, Jay Will, Jared, those guys gave us a huge lift all night, obviously, but it started there, just getting that game into a manageable spot. But yeah, great poise by the team.
The other night that it's that time of year. If you're not fearless, then you're probably going to lose and go home. But Jared's never played this late into the year. Where do you think his fearlessness, is coming from, and are you surprised by that at all?
Never surprised, definitely impressed. I don't know where it's coming from. It's a good question for him, but I do know that from the second he's gotten here, this is obviously a high-level team, that was the 1 seed and is now playing deep into the playoffs, and he hasn't flinched. He's jumped right on the train. It's been inside the team. He's a big-time teammate, big-time competitor, and he's got playoff confidence, obviously, and playoff confidence isn't, always being able to perform well or anything like that. It's being able to take your punches and keep throwing them, and he's certainly shown the capacity to do that.
Confidence is one way to put it. Jared McCain, by the way, 24 points off the bench, 10 of 21 shooting. The 21 shot attempts were the most of anybody in this game. Wasn't even on the team like 6 months ago, and in Western Conference Finals, Game 3 on the road, leads the Thunder in shot attempts. I mean, that is the ultra confidence showing through. All right, we've got to take a timeout. We will hear from Jared McCain coming up next on a special edition of The End Zone. Along with Cameron Johnson, I'm Colby Daniels. This is a special edition of The End Zone as we recap the Thunder's Game 3 win on the road, 123-108. Thunder now 2-1 over the San Antonio Spurs. Game 4 coming up on Sunday night. If you had to give out a game ball, I feel like collectively the bench deserves it.
Yep.
I don't think there's any one guy that you could pinpoint as this guy more deserving, because Caruso, McCain, Jalen Williams, all those guys were sensational. But it was Jared McCain offensively for a big stretch of this game that really gave the Thunder a lift. 24 points off of 10 made shots, 21 field goal attempts. Here's Jared McCain after the game.
Yeah, I mean, we knew coming into this game, especially at home for them, it's going to be loud, it's going to be crazy, but being able to weather a storm, we talk about it a lot. AC and K-Rays talk about it a lot, and at that timeout, I think they were up like 15-0 or something. Just being able to be calm, be poised in that situation, and give each other confidence, give each other energy, and know that we're going to throw another punch, and we're to come back.
Jared, the other night Caruso said that it's that time of year, if you're not fearless, then you're probably going to lose and go home. But you've never played this late in the year, and yet all series you've sort of driven with Wemby in the lane, you've taken whatever shot you felt like. Where is this sort of fearlessness coming from?
I think it just stems from when I was younger. My family, they gave me that confidence, my support system. I feel like I've played in big games, whether it's in high school or Duke, and definitely not the Western Conference Finals, but being able to just take that confidence and be fearless. Like, this is, I love this so much. Like, I love what my life is right now, and being able to play and contribute at this level, I never want to take it for granted. And so whatever opportunity I get, I'm going to take advantage of it, and I'm going to try and execute my best. I truly love this, and I think that's why I just can go in there and just be fearless and trust myself.
24 points off the bench for Jared McCain tonight against, wait for it, the San Antonio Spurs. Redeeming myself here. It's kind of crazy that he scored 24 and only had 2 made threes.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at what this Oklahoma City front office has done, sometimes it feels unfair to bring in a guy midway through the season for virtually nothing in return and have him fit in the way he has and provide such a spark for this Oklahoma City offense and defense. I mean, that's one of the biggest steals this season. And when you hear him talk about just his opportunities like that as well, how can you not love a guy like that?
We also have to spotlight for a moment Jalen Williams. A lot of people call him the other Jalen Williams, right? Because Dub is such an all-star caliber player. But he comes off the bench, along with Caruso when they're down 15-0. He has 2 early threes that sort of helped climb back in and erase that deficit. I think right at the end of the first quarter, he drew a charge on Wemby that just kind of felt like it helped the Thunder's momentum, and he hit some big shots the rest of the way. But I just thought his play overall, physicality, just finding ways to contribute, again, like, he is the ultimate Thunder guy. Just he finds a different way to contribute every night. Tonight it was obviously on the scoreboard, and then the big and 1-3 in the fourth quarter kind of felt like it was the dagger.
And he's been in a couple of momentum shifting plays in the first couple of games, as well as all his playoffs. But tonight, like you said, he's a Thunder guy, and to see him get his flowers, as you put it, it's nice to see.
Yeah. Again, the game ball has to go to the bench collectively. Jared McCain, 24 points. Jay Will, 18 points. Caruso, 15 points. They were also out there for stretches where I thought defensively they played really well. And the Thunder as a whole, we're going to say hold Wemby to 26 points, 8 of 15 shooting, 4 rebounds. I mean, that's probably the biggest mark is Wemby only pulling down 4 rebounds after the 24 that he got in game number 1. Thunder 123, Spurs 108, 2-1 lead for OKC. Game 4 on Sunday night. What to expect next here on the End Zone. All right, wrapping things up. Thunder 2-1 over the San Antonio Spurs. Game 4 in San Antonio Sunday night. This series is at least going 5. Game 5 at the Paycom Center Tuesday. What are you looking forward to in Game 4 Sunday night?
Man, after how the Thunder looked tonight, this has just changed my overall view on the series. I feel comfortable in walking back from 7 games, but it'll be really interesting to see if the Thunder, as you said, we're starting to see their experience show in this, but I'm curious to see if San Antonio just comes out angry and wanting revenge after losing a game like that in front of their home fans. So I think it'll be another physical game, but I look for a Thunder win, come back to the Paycom Center with a chance to close it out.
Thunder talked about Game 2 showing up with more urgency because they lost Game 1. Now San Antonio has given away home court advantage back to OKC. I think they're going to show up with a lot of urgency early. The question is, what do they have in the gas tank? The Thunder have clearly worn them down the last 2 games. I question how much gas San Antonio, they're going to play hard early.
Yeah.
How much gas do they have down the stretch of Game 4? And I think the other thing that's really standing out, the bench has been great, but the Thunder had so many injuries this season. All of these guys getting extra time when star players were out is really showing right now.
Yes.
I thought A.J. Mitchell was going to be a big part of tonight without J-Dub coming off the injury. A.J. Mitchell doesn't even play that much, only scores 2 points, and it's everybody else. So, I mean, this team is so battle-tested. I think the bench and the physicality, once again, are the difference makers. And, assuming Shea is Shea, I think the Thunder are in great shape to potentially come back to OKC up 3-1. All right, that's it. Thunder lead 2-1 over San Antonio, 123-108 the final. For Cameron Johnson, I'm Colby Daniels. We'll see you Sunday.